It's Thursday night again. It's the kit room with me, James, and I've got Neil with me again. How are you, Neil?
All good. I told we'd have big smiles after a Spurs win, and we have that, as well as a 4-0 win, which we'll come on to very soon. But all is well. All is well, James. How about you?
Yeah, not bad. Great win against Spurs. When when we went 2-1 up, I was dreading another 2-all because I know that Spurs games this season have been 2-alls. So I was hoping it wasn't going to be a 2-all. But yeah, 2-1, great result. I think we played well. Really glad we attacked them. I think also from a neutral point of view, it was a great game to watch. It was very end to end, and I think that was great. I think, as far as we're concerned, great result, great attacking play. I thought Madders was unbelievable. Although I was a bit worried at the end. I thought he should have gone off injured, but we used all our subs. He seems to be a bit of a passenger. Let's hope he gets fit again. But I'm hearing today he probably won't make Sunday's game. So what's your views on that?
Yes, we'll come back. We'll come back to that, I think, in a bit when we come on to the Newcastle bit. But again, about the Tottenham game, I thought it was a great game. As you were saying, when we got 2-0 down, in my head, I go, here we go, typical Leicester City. Through the years, we've seen it again and again. We play well. We've got nothing to show for it, and we'll be like fourth game on Match of the Day, and they'll say, "Oh, Tottenham were fantastic," blah 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 blah. So it was those, but definitely some players really stood out to me. Madison being one of them. I remember you just mentioning. Another thing that we've been asking for a while now, and that's for Chilwell and Ricardo to push further up the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's what I felt we did really well. We kind of, especially with Chilwell, because Ricardo's been pretty decent all season.
Yeah.
But he's definitely getting into them positions where he can cause havoc, and that's where we got the goal from. Was Ricardo coming into that position where Vardy put the cross in. And I think, for the fullbacks are playing well. We'll come to our formations later and what we thought of the Tottenham game. But I think from what we predicted last week, we started with my formation. I think we went into your formation for the second half as well. So it was interesting to see how we went to a diamond more.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. We got different ways of playing. You can see it changing a match, and if we're on the counter or the attacking. I think Tielemans, we saw a lot more of him. He's still yet to click into top gear, but brilliant to see him getting on a little bit, and a goal and assist against Luton. Yes, it's at Luton, but any goal that can gain confidence is brilliant for us. And then Varane, I think I was saying last week with Barnes, him playing ahead of Vardy at times and presenting Vardy with another option and just not being marked out the game was brilliant. And the same way that when they realised that, then we brought in Ricardo for the first goal. So all in all, I think tactically was brilliant. VAR, I think, we're going to say the same things every week, aren't we? Until it really goes wrong for Leicester. I can't see us saying this, but hopefully it'll get better in time. But all in all, as you can see from the stats, it's brilliant to see 7 shots on target, though.
Yeah.
We were complaining about at the beginning of the season, saying that we can't get more than 2 or 3. And now we're getting 7 against Spurs at home.
Yeah.
I mean, that only speaks well for us, doesn't it?
Yeah, just want to touch on VAR. We're going to touch on this most weeks, no doubt. For me, the Leicester VAR decision, he looked offside to me, so I wasn't surprised that was kind of chalked off. The Spurs one looked level. I think the ref thought it was level. Even the VAR decision, he still looks level because it's not. It's still a manual decision. I think that's the bit that worries me. A lot of fans play FIFA, and that's done computerized. You know what level is and what it's offside. So surely we've got the technology, and we've proved it with goal line technology. That why can't we use a computer brain to help make decisions like that with VAR instead of just video replays? Why don't we take it a bit further to try and make it a bit more accurate? Because we've seen VAR decisions this season where even the FA themselves are saying, well, we got 4 of them wrong completely, even with VAR, because it's still a manual intervention. I just think that manual intervention and then goes to somebody else for manual intervention is still interpretation. So maybe we could get a bit smarter with the technology. I'm not sure. It just seems to me that we could get a lot smarter with the technology. But who knows? I've seen some tackles this season. I didn't think some of the Spurs players were tackling very well. I thought they were going to give out loads of yellow cards, but they were getting away with a lot of yellow cards. I think there was one two-footed challenge that I did see. Didn't even go to VAR, and VAR didn't pick up on it. So it's very difficult around the VAR. And I understand why the players like, we're not really sure what's going on. Had a conversation with one of my friends, big Leicester fan, at the game, and when it's on the screen, the VAR decision, it doesn't tell you anything.
Did you manage to see the VAR decision? Yeah. Did you see it on the screen? It flickered on for potentially 3 seconds, maximum. Because I was sitting in the stand, we weren't sure what's happening, and I was sitting the opposite end of the goal. Yeah. So from there, we definitely can't see it's offside. So we all celebrated like no tomorrow. Yeah. Then it said VAR decision. Yeah. And then it said no goal, and we were all confused because we didn't have that match of the day replay or anything at the time. And then I turned to the person next to me, and then I've looked up at the screen, and briefly there's 4 screenshots with no marking about where the line is or if there was, we genuinely can see them. But the screens are quite small as it is. Well, they're big enough if you play a full-size screen. Yeah. But if you've got 4 screenshots, you just couldn't see. I turned to the guy next to me and go, look, they've got it on the screen. We both look at it and he's gone. So I don't know what that was trying to do. I think that's the first match I've seen it actually do that. So they are getting better at it. But typical FA or FIFA, they're getting... Yeah. They're trying to bring it in. But
I personally think if there's enough space on them scoreboards, even just to tell the crowd what's going on, VAR decision, disallowed goal, for offside, then at least people know what's happened. But what you get every VAR decision, people are looking at each other going, well, why has that been disallowed, or what's happening with that? And people just don't know. So if you're going to use VAR, just tell people what's happening. And that's my rant over on VAR. You'll be glad to know.
No, it's fine. The rant away, please. But I get you. I get it being in the stadium, and it's just kind of a bit in the mix. But as well, I'm going to be honest. Even though it was a complete 50-50. The second goal that went in, that changed it for Leicester. But also, there was that feeling when that second goal went in, where it was disallowed. There was that feeling around the stadium. We can do this, lads. We can at least get an equaliser. Because we were in the game, we had more shots than them. We had more shots on target. We had, I don't know if we had more. No, we didn't have more possession. Yeah. Obviously, the stats there are 44-56. Yeah. But I think in general, the crowd were right up for it, and which is great to hear. Because to be fair, in the last couple of years, it's not been the best down at the King Power. It's been good, but it's not been that kind of energy I haven't felt in a long time.
And I've seen part of various Leicester City groups, and I've seen a lot of fans saying the atmosphere last Saturday was amazing. It was loud, it was buzzing. Reminded me of the 15-16 season, if I'm honest. Everyone seemed to be getting along, chanting. It was a great atmosphere, and I've not seen that in years down there. I mean, last season, some games it was very, very quiet. There was a lot of nervousness, but you can see that the fans are enjoying the football that's being played. It's entertaining to watch. And you have a good time down there with your mates, and the atmosphere has got so much better that game. I just hope that Newcastle, we'll go on to Newcastle in a minute, but I just hope the Newcastle atmosphere, they can recreate it or make it as good, because I think 4:30 on Sky, if we can get a great atmosphere, it will come well on the TV, and I think that's kind of, Kevin Keegan always used to say about Newcastle, they always had a 12th man, which was the crowd. And I think that helped us when we won the league. The crowd is the 12th man, so I think if we can be that 12th man again, it's like you say, their goal was disallowed, and the crowd was like, we can do this now, and that energy gets on the pitch as well.
It's infectious.
It affects the players. They then know, well, we can do this as well, and that energy just gets going higher and higher. And look at where we played. Second half, I thought we were amazing. You touched on the fullbacks. Ben Chilwell, first half, I thought disappeared a little bit. Because they were destroying him down that side. Son was tearing him to pieces. Don't know what Roger said at half time to him, but he came out a totally different player in the second half. He was bombing down that wing, supporting the forwards, supporting the midfield, looked a different player. In the second half, I thought he played really, really well. I just think it might have been a bit overshadowed by his first half performance for a man of the match. But for me, man of the match matters. Great goal. Yes, he got injured. Hopefully it's not a long-term injury. I think he'll just miss Sunday. I don't think they'll risk him against Newcastle. we'll go into Newcastle in a minute, but I think they'll be physical. So for me, Madders, Sunchai had another great game. Seems to be a rock at the back. Like you said last week, he has got mistakes in him, but so have all defenders. But he seems to be picking himself up. I personally think
the calmness he has on the ball. Like, we were sitting that end for all 3 goals, so we saw that when he left Aurier on his arse. It was brilliant to watch, and he's just the composure. And I've got this, and for somebody of his age, it's brilliant. I've never seen a player act like that for Leicester at such a young age, and play just. He'll play it into a corner, and he'll try and find a way out, or he don't mind passing it long. And at times, if you watch for the, I want to say the first goal, I'm not sure, it might be the second goal. It was in Spurs possession, but he won it back from nearly the midfield, winning it. Giving it a short pass to Ndidi or Tielemans, and then they got the ball going again. So it's obviously been in his tactics that if the manager has said, look, if you can see an opportunity to win the ball, go for it. He's got the pace, and I don't think people are expecting him to be as quick as he is, because he's still kind of an unknown. He's known to us Leicester fans, but to other teams, he's not too they're not too sure. It's like, who's this new guy that's replacing Harry Maguire? And in the team, I think when an opponent, they kind of think, we've got plenty of time. And they'll look for the pass, or they'll try and he's already in their face already. So it's good to see that as well. And again, I agree with you. He's been brilliant this season, and he's only getting better. To be honest, all the little tricks, all the little composures, and again, he was immense for them and him and Johnny Evans to keep out Son and Kane, albeit from the goal. It was incredible. It was really good, because they are one of the strongest duos in the Premier League. Kane is still a world-class striker. Let's forget that, and let's not forget that. And I love the little bits we did to kind of, when Johnny Evans, he went over and just completely crunched into Harry Kane at the corner flag, about the halfway line. That kind of epitomised what Rodgers wants from the team, what that meant to us, and also what it did to the crowd. I think it was so important that if you look on Leicester's Instagram at the moment, they've actually put that as one of the clips they put out. So, again, everybody was up for it that game, and I can't really speak high enough of it, but I still feel like we're not in top gear yet. It doesn't feel like everybody's completely clicked into place. So that's why everybody's so excited. Sitting in third place as well, I think I'm going on a bit of a rant now, aren't I, James? But it's just excitement at the end of the day, and with a performance like that, I mean, we can't really say too much apart from just well done, and this is what we expected. I think this is why everybody was so excited coming at the beginning of the season.
And one thing with Sunchu, which I tell, I'm old school. When he starts doing tricks in his own box, it worries me.
He still does.
And I think soon he will get hits once. The thing that worries you, if he loses the ball to someone like Kevin De Bruyne around that area, then he'll score. So that's the only thing.
Or Aguero.
But that's one thing that worries about his game. One thing I love about his game is he's learning every game. I can see him changing. And I think Evans has been amazing. I think Evans helps him a lot with his positioning, what to do, and I think Evans brings that out of him. And it reminds me of the way Hoof used to be with players he used to play with. He helps them, he coaches them, and he makes them to a formidable partnership. It's only going to be a matter of time when the other teams start realising, actually, this bloke's really good. And they'll start to try and combat them two together. And try and split them, so make strikers make runs in opposite directions to try and split them two apart and get the midfielders to attack. But at the minute, I can't see. Well, he's not really put a foot wrong. Yes, he's made a few mistakes, but his recovery, I think, has been immense. Even when he makes mistakes, sometimes when you make mistakes, players' heads drops when they're that young. They've made a mistake, maybe a goal scored, but he just picks himself up. He talks to Evans. And they carry on, and he comes back better than ever. So fair play to the lad. He's playing really, really well. Seems to be the kind of linchpin we were missing. Is he better than Maguire? Not sure. It's early days.
For sure.
But I think he's a great player, and we'll take it from there. So
I think comparing them side to side, Harry Maguire and Söyüncü, is a bit, because we watched them game in game out.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare them, because they're two different players. Harry Maguire was really, I think you were saying, against Manchester United, he was weak on the turn, he was slow.
Yeah.
Soyuncu's the opposite. Harry Maguire's not as good with the feet as Soyuncu. Soyuncu's not as good in the air.
Yeah.
He's not as much of a physical presence, but he's still just as strong.
Yeah.
So they play different roles, and it seems like it's kind of like it's like Evans has got experience while they kind of complement each other beautifully. And coming back to Evans, I think this is the start that he deserves and also he wants. Now, we got him for 3 million, which I believe is an absolute steal.
Yeah.
And I was listening to BBC Radio Leicester earlier on in the week, and they were saying that when Tony Pulis was talking to Sir Alex Ferguson was saying to Tony Pulis when he went to West Brom, he goes, listen, he's a great player. He's good enough to get in any team in the top 6.
Yeah.
But I can't get him in my team, so I'd rather give him over to you. And again, we're just going to reap the benefits of that. Under West Brom, again, they were solid for that year. And then they kind of went downhill when they got relegated. But with us, I can see him playing that main position, playing the position that he really wants to play.
Yeah.
And also him being that leader that he knows he can be, that he's done in the past. And finally, feels like the West Brom but an upgrade for him. So he's got that position, he knows what he's doing with it, and this is where he's going to stay.
Yeah, let's not forget about Evans, and people seem to forget this. 6 months before we bought him, we put a stupidly high bid, 20 million plus for him. We're in a bidding war with Pep. Pep pulled out because it was too much. I think they wanted 30 million for him. We pulled out because it was too much. And then 6 months later, we buy him for 3 billion. How's that work?
That's one of the best buys, I think.
Yeah.
That will go down as one of the best buys probably in the last 20 years for the price and for the class just comes off him.
Okay.
As he's going along, you could just see, I know what I'm doing, I've got it, and it's infectious. It gets into Ndidi, where Ndidi get the ball, goes, don't worry, I've got this, and he's just a man with experience with the Champions League, with winning. I think he's won 5 titles before as well. So he's got the experience. He knows what he's doing. He's a great player, and we've just got to rely on him. Schmeichel relies on him. He relies on Schmeichel, and they're both very, very decent, very, very good players. So it's all just coming together, and the manager has just provided the glue and provided the formation, just stuck people here and there where they need to be, and just give them advice, like you were just saying with Chilwell.
Yeah.
And it's just worked a dream. Yeah. And it's only going to get better. But at the end of the day, if we end in 3rd, I'll be a happy man. I wouldn't have expected it, but if we end in 3rd, that's going to be a hell of a season. Obviously, every season that's not going to be with the Premier League is going to look slightly dismal. But again, to be in the top 6, that's going to send a statement out to the Premier League, and that's kind of what we want as fans as well.
Yeah, totally agree with everything you're saying. Regards best buy in the last 20 years, that's a bit much.
Really?
Just as an aside to that, Lionel Messi cost 300 grand.
Oh, I meant for Leicester.
I know, I was joking.
Oh, I meant for Leicester. Yeah,
I was joking with you.
yeah, that's fine. Well, if he was to come to us for 300 grand,
yeah, we'll take that.
I'll pay. I'll try and find enough funds to get that done as well.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Moving on to Leicester against. I've called them Park the Bus United. It's obviously Newcastle United. They are going to park the bus. They park the bus at home. They park the bus away.
They park the bus when they're not even on a bus.
Yeah, I think you're right. So we played them 24 games. We won 8. They've won 11. 5 draws, 31 goals for us, 29 for them. Clean sheets, we're better than them. They're winning on yellow cards and red cards. Probably red cards because Shelby still plays for them. He's always got a red...
I don't know if is he started at the moment?
No.
I'm not sure. No. Oh, okay.
He's always got a red card in him. If he comes on. So for me, I think they are going to defend deep. We've said numerous times before, Wolves, a few others, defended deep, and we struggle to break down teams that defend deep.
Yeah.
So that's probably a bit of a concern. Going back to your comment before around we're 3rd, it's great, will we finish 3rd? I think one thing that's not hit us yet, and it hits all teams in that top 6 battle usually, are injuries. And it's how you perform when you've got injuries. So for me, if Vardy ever got injured, then that would be a huge risk. Because I'm not sure what we do without him. Be interested without Madders playing Sunday, what happens then. I'm just worried that if we get injuries, it could hold us. Because the 15-16 season, everyone seemed to keep clearly fit. There was a few scares, but overall, I think we were quite fit. And we have got some great reserves, but I'm not sure we've got reserves that will keep us up there. Because
since the 15-16 season, I can't remember anybody bar Matty James that's had any major time out, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the team have been decent, and you look at, for example, Arsenal a few years ago, I don't know as much now, but they had a player injured every month, and it just used to keep rotating with Walcott, with Welbeck, with Oxlade-Chamberlain. We don't seem to have that problem, which I'm not complaining about. I mean, I want the same team and the same formation to appear week in, week out. But I remember just looking at the red cards. I think it was Newcastle lost their head the year we did this Great Escape, and I think it was about 2 or 3 games in, and just 2 players in a match. Vardy got completely cleaned out by one of their players, and just took into the camera.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I don't even want to play. So again, I was saying to James before we started, thank God we have to count our lucky stars that we had the King Power takeover, because if we had Mike Ashley, God, would we be in a completely different position? We'd be coming in, black and white, as in black and white screens as well, just completely terrible. Yeah.
And
so shout out to their fans, but I'm so glad we've got where we are at the moment because of Kunvichai and the rest of the King Power group.
Yeah, last weekend, 42,000 at St James's Park, lowest they've had in years. But again, lots of season ticket holders didn't turn up, so it's probably a lot lower than 42,000. You wouldn't expect that at St James's Park for a league match. The fans are not turning up. They've given loads of tickets back for Sunday's game as well, probably because they don't want to come all this way. 4:30 kick-off, get all the way back up there. If they're just going to come here and park the bus. When you go and see your team play, you want to see them play entertaining, good football, not to put 10 men behind the ball, which I think will be our struggle on Sunday. I think this will be a big test for us against, these are the teams you should be wiping the floor with, but when they defend deep, what do? You see Man City, teams defend deep with Man City all the time, but they've got the players and the techniques to unlock that and score goals galore. We need to start unlocking teams. One of my disappointments is that when we play teams that defend deep, we struggle to get Vardy the ball. So the midfielder has to step up. We rely on Madders a lot of the ball goes through him. But I think without him playing, the other players, Tillemans, I think Pratt will play. He looked really good at the weekend. I think he will play, probably in his position, I'm not sure. And then that attack will happen again. It's whether they can start unlocking them teams. And I think they can. They just need to play in the right way. And we'll go through formations in a minute. And discuss that. But for me, I'm hoping a 1 or 2-0 win. I don't think there'll be many goals in it because of the way Newcastle play. What's your prediction? And are there any people we should be looking out for? Because obviously they've got what's his face up front? Can't remember his name.
He's got quite a few. Muto and Almiron. Oh no, the new guy, Joel Linton.
Yeah, they're the one that they've spent quite a lot of money on, haven't they?
Yes. Well, apparently.
Yeah. So he's probably their danger. My other thing that worries me is Andy Carroll.
Oh, no, Andy Carroll back now officially.
Yeah, Andy Carroll's back. So the thing that worries me is if they whip balls into Andy Carroll and it hits him on the head. Well, we all know what Andy Carroll's like in the air. That's my only worry. But I think we've got the right. As long as Chilwell and Ricardo can stop them crosses coming in, then his service is dead and he does nothing.
And I guess sticking Evans on won't be the best scenario. It may even be worth considering playing Morgan, just for that big strength guy up front. That's Morgan's speciality. Tall. Look at him at Rondon last season or season before. He knew exactly where to go, exactly how to play him, and just get off. This is my ball. And so even I've not put Morgan in the formation. If Andy Carroll comes on, I bet you it will be his tactic to go, Morgan, you're on, you know what to do, this is your bread and butter, get on with it. And Morgan will go, cool, I might be 35, but I know what I'm doing. So to deal with that, I think we've got Morgan on the bench.
Andy Carroll's not that much younger, is he?
Is he not?
I don't think so. He's been around a bit, hasn't
he? Yeah, he has. He's had an up and down career, and he's been to the top, to the bottom. Well, Newcastle, that's quite full bottom, to be honest, at the moment. But yeah, I get what you mean. But again, do you see what I mean by Morgan?
Yeah.
Even though Evans is still really good and defensively brilliantly.
Yeah.
If you just need the old school scruff up,
yeah,
which Andy Carroll and Joel Linton will give you,
yeah,
then Morgan's your man any day of the week.
Okay, score predictions.
I'll go for a 2-0. I think we can unlock defences because of the formation we'll come to on in just a second, which actually we're on to now. So yes, right. I've gone for a 4-3-3. So I've got Perez and Barnes alongside Vardy, Pratt, Tielemans, and Ndidi because Maddison's injured. Otherwise, Maddison will walk straight back into this team. Chilwell, Pereira, Soyuncu, and Evans, and Schmeichel. So yeah, similar to what we played last week. In the second half, I know we played a diamond, but apart from this, we just need to throw everything at them. So Soyuncu and Evans stay back. The wing backs bomb on. Tielemans will be the guy, hopefully, to unlock a few teams, and hopefully this will be the game where he comes alive. Because without Maddison, this will be the team where he comes into. He has to step up. And Pratt again looked really decent. I think we'll come up more onto that when we check out your formation because we'll come onto that in a bit. And yeah, Perez and Barnes. Because Perez knows Newcastle, even if they set up with a strong block with a 5 at the back. He knows how to unlock that because he's played in that team for God knows how long as well. And Barnes to do the same thing. And again, I think that's one play we haven't mentioned so far. Barnes did very, very well at the weekend. Bearing in mind it's his first full year in the Premier League and how he's playing. His synergy with Vardy is incredible. So the relation, we can get him the ball, fine. We've got Perez and Barnes to come off that as well. Tielemans to potentially whip balls into Perez, I think will be quite lethal on his head in the same way that's exactly what they did to us. I remember last season when they came here and parked the bus again.
Yeah.
So yeah, apart from that, 4-3-3, and we just push as many players forward as much as they can, in my opinion.
Yep. For me, it looks like a good formation. Again, Tielemans, Pratt will do all the unlocking they need to do. I think against Newcastle, you probably need to get Barnes more into the game. Because his speed and his awareness around him will be amazing against them. Perez he'll know how they play, he'll know how they set up, he'll know what to expect, and he'll be telling Leicester what to expect and probably their weaknesses as well. And I think the same thing happened against Man United. Vardy was in Maguire's pocket all game, probably because they've played together for years. He knows what Vardy's about. He knows what Vardy's going to do. So he would have helped Man United as well. But yeah, I think Perez, well, hopefully he'll score. He will score against your old teams. James Justin last night, prime example. But yeah, good formation. I think it's good. So deep into the second half, Andy Carroll comes on. Who are you taking off? Soyuncu or Evans for Morgan?
Soyuncu.
Okay. Because
they haven't got any pace hits on the counter. And bearing in mind, Soyuncu, Evans... Morgan played last night, so we could do, but I would take off Soyuncu for sure. But yeah, we've come to the infamous formation of James with the diamond in the middle.
The diamond is back.
The diamond is back. The diamond never left. The diamond never left anyway. It went on a quick 1 week vacation and it's back.
Yeah. So I've put Fuchs in for Chilwell. I think Fuchs will be better against Newcastle. The simple reason, Fuchs is unbelievable in the last third of the pitch. His defending is great, but his last third, his awareness of where everyone's going to be, where everyone's going to run to, I think is amazing. And I think he will help unlock Newcastle more than Chilwell will for this game. I put Ndidi in the anchor role as normal. Tielemans and Chowdhury in midfield because they're going to have to try and unlock them, but also stop them coming through. Pratt playing the number 10 role, the Maddison role. If Maddison was playing, he'd go in there. Vardy and Perez up front together. I think that'd be good because Vardy's runs will take defenders away from Perez, and vice versa. Where Perez's runs will take players away from Vardy. So I think it's a good formation. I think that's the kind of formation we need to attack. I think Newcastle will play a low back line. I think we'll play possibly 4 at the back with the midfielder sitting right in front of the back 2, which is basically a back 5.
Yeah.
So they are going to be difficult to break down. Last Saturday's game, 0-0. One of the most boring games I've ever watched in my life. And they just parked the bus and they couldn't get through. So Newcastle are great at defending. Steve Bruce, obviously, he was a great defender in his time. He's obviously taught them how to park a bus. It's going to be difficult. I just wish that every single team would come and attack us, and then we'll win the league again.
Do you know what, as well? We're the only match on Sunday as well. So match of the day 2 is going to be half an hour of talking about us, and I'm really hoping that we have I'd love for us to shine, especially as being the only team on that Sunday.
Yeah.
To shine, and then kind of there was a lot of decisions where they were talking about a lot of times where I felt like we're judged unfairly.
Yeah.
And this will be a perfect opportunity to shine against a team that are not so strong. I found it interesting that you put Tielemans in that position and Pratt in the number 10.
Yeah.
I would have swapped them if I was playing into Diamond. And also, if you looked in the first half, Ndidi again, brilliant, won the ball back and passed it short to Tielemans quite quickly.
Yeah.
Now, if you watched when they swapped over in the second half, when Pratt came on, what he did is Ndidi got the ball, passed it short to Pratt, and Pratt made up that room. And he was bashing down, not the wing as much, but down that right-hand side, and really exploiting that. And then Pereira was overlapping and providing width as well.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, I would have probably swapped Tielemans for Pratt, but I could see why you've played that. But again, as we were saying just slightly earlier, Pratt, I can see why we've bought him. He gets the ball and he drives, and you know exactly where he's going, and he's going to kind of take people with him. And the defender will decide, am I going to stay, am I going to go, or is the midfielder going to follow him? And that in itself will bring people out of position.
Yeah, totally agree. So it was kind of, do I put Tielemans there, do I put Pratt there? I think my first formation, which I chose, what I did is put Tielemans and Pratt in the central midfielders role and put Barnes behind the front 2. That was
like it's number 10.
Yeah, that was my first choice because that's the kind of formation they play at Belgium, and Tielemans and Pratt play together, and it works really well for Belgium. So that was kind of my first thing. But then I thought it'd be better to bring Barnes on, because once they've been ran ragged for 80 minutes, to bring Barnes on to run even further, I think he'll be better as an impact sub, and that was kind of my decision. So again, both great formations. I think either one of the formations will be able to unlock their defence, but we'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yes.
So I think we've both gone for 1-0 and 2-0 really, haven't we?
Yeah, it makes sense too, because I think we're both quite pragmatic, and we basically we don't go massively 4-0 this, 5-0 this, because every time we do, we get stung in the bum.
Yeah.
You look at Cardiff last year and other teams last year as well. But yeah, I think your formation works perfectly. I think we're going to do well this season if we keep this up. And again, it will be interesting to see how we play without Maddison, because a lot of the play has been through him this year. And especially look at the game against Manchester United, for example. They kind of took him out of the game. He didn't really say too much, and that stopped our team. Now he's not in the team. We do need these players to step up. Again, I believe they can do it. I believe Tielemans alongside that right-hand side with Pratt in the team, with Pereira in the team, they can unlock and they can move certain players. And if you think about it, this is the next step up. They're not quite, because to be fair, the players they've got are not quite a Premier League team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So this is like from Luton going up that extra step to go to Newcastle, even though they're putting more people behind the ball.
Yeah.
I think we can do it. And I think we've got the players to unlock it. Chowdhury playing, I think he played well when he came on. And again, I'm surprised in playing Diddy, but he played a vital role in just protecting. But I can't see as much as him going forward as, for example, so it'll be more of a diamond, but I can see it more as him playing alongside Diddy.
Yeah, told you the diamond always works.
Well, 4-2-1-2-1-2-1-2-1-2-1-2 eventually, and you'll end up in the pitch somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. And it's just what it is now is I get the formation because the wing back, essentially in your formation, they're wing backs, Pereira and Fuchs in this instance. So I get why you said that, but before I just couldn't see it working.
Yeah, and yes, so yeah, I think both great formations, as I've said. So I think 2 good wins for us, hopefully. 2-0 I'm going for. I think you're going for a 2-0. Just before we go, just want to touch on the fantasy team. How's yours doing, Neil?
Oh dear me.
How's it going?
I started off the season so well. I had Salah and Sterling, and they're both on fire. And then in my team at the moment, I had Zinchenko, didn't play. Yeah, it was terrible. And then Sterling, captain, didn't play. It's not looking great. Over the season? I got like. Let me have a look. I had like 30 points or something. It was a bit tragic, really.
So I had looked.
I know why you said that, because go ahead. You can brag about your team now. You can laugh in my face in a second.
Before we go on to that, I just want to say that have you got Barnes up front?
I have not.
Not our Barnes, but have you got a Burnley player?
I have got the other Barnes, yes.
And how's he playing?
Yeah, let's not talk about it. He's playing. He's getting 2 points. I'll give you that. Again, so my team at the moment is, well, if you look at last week, it doesn't count. But yeah, it's so Gunn and Heaton in goal. Then my front 3 are Barnes, the one from Burnley, Vardy and Abraham.
Yeah.
So decent players. Then the midfield of Tielemans, Mount, Campbell from Norwich, and Salah.
Yeah.
So it's decent, but it hasn't turned up. And then Dunk, Van Dijk, Soyuncu, Zinchenko, and Tarkowski, as well as Sterling as well. So I've got a decent team, and I'm sticking with it. I'm one of the players that I don't want to. I hate being the wild card where you play the wild card, you put all these new players in, they don't turn up, and then all your previous people score, and you feel like you've been cheated on, and it's the worst feeling in the world. So I'm going to stick with it because in the long run I will get a better team, and this team will perform. But please. I'm ready for you to crush my dreams.
Okay, so my team got Fabianski in goal.
Okay.
I've got a back 3 of Ake, Pereira, Duffy.
Ake's an interesting one.
Always scores high.
But always concedes.
Yeah, as well. Midfield, I've got Mount.
Yeah.
Salah.
Yeah.
James Maddison. And Kevin De Bruyne.
And you know, I looked at the beginning of the season when you put De Bruyne in, and I was like, now spend the extra money and go for Sterling. And we'll have to see now. Again, 8-0, and I got 0 points from Man City. I had 2 Man City players, 1 captain in Sterling. I got nothing from it, and I was so annoyed. But what can you do?
And my 3 strikers are Jamie Vardy.
Cool.
Aubameyang.
Oof.
And Tammy Abraham, who scores for fun.
Jeez.
So I'm 5th in the 100% LCFC one. We have a small league between the content lads. I'm topping that by miles.
I think I'm bottom.
Yeah, you are bottom
of everything. I just looked at that when you came on. Just when you came on, just know that. Yeah, bottom. That's fine. Do you know what? By the end of the season, I guarantee you I won't be bottom of that league. I guarantee you that now.
Okay.
I know that we've lost about half of our fans by now, because some of if fantasy's an interesting thing. I only got into it about 3 years ago because I was like, I don't get it. It's a bit sad.
Yeah.
And then I got into it, and now I'm hooked. So I can't really complain. So I totally get it. Why people kind of. It's funny how many people you make. Like if I've been at a festival or something like that and like check my fantasy score, the amount of people that go, "Oh, what score? Who scored?" Blah blah blah, and you just make friends that way. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you start to watch games and like, I don't care if Arsenal get beat 14. Well, if Arsenal get beat, I want them to get beat 14-13, and Aubameyang scores 13 goals.
Yes, exactly. And they put triple captain on.
Yeah. Okay, but it's been a great show again, Neil. I'm not here next week, but you'll be live on YouTube as normal.
Yeah.
Probably
we'll do that next week. Should be good. Yes, and just kind of formations. And who are playing the week after Newcastle?
Liverpool, Anfield.
Oh, okay, we're definitely doing one for that then. I'll see if I can get some guests on. If not, we'll have to see.
Okay, no props. Thanks again, Neil. Been a great show.
You too, James.
Talk to you soon.